Hey guys, it's Karalynn. Welcome back to the podcast. I just wanted to take a quick episode for those of you who might not know who I am, what I do, what perspective I come at from, and how the information I'm providing you may have some gravity based on that, right? So, I'm a construction attorney. I've been a construction attorney for for 20 years this year. Um, I didn't start my life out thinking I was going to law school. I grew up in rural Illinois in a tiny little town, northern Illinois, in a lower middle class family. We didn't have a lot of money. My mom was a waitress. My dad was a farmer. They got divorced when I was 7. Um, and sometimes it was hard, right? uh, but some of my first jobs were with my family who was in the construction industry. My grandfather was an excavator, built golf courses all over. My uncle was an irrigation contractor. My brother's an irrigation contractor. My other uncle's an electrician. And so I've kind of, although not been heavily involved, but always been around it, right? And always been around it from the side of a small family business, right? Um, and it just kind of grew up with it in the background. It was always there. Wasn't overly interested in it, but it was just part of where I grew up and who I was. In my last year of law school, my husband and I started a material supply company. And my original plans when I got out of law school were I was going to go into real estate. That's what I was really interested in. I went to work with my real estate professor for about a year before the legal issues in the business we had started, that I'd started with my husband, became a full-time job, and I couldn't work for anybody else. So I started the Cromeens Law Firm in 2006. And it really started as a way for us to figure out how to collect our money, how to navigate lien waivers and contracts and all of the things that go into the business side and the legal side of a business when you start running a business, which I didn't know a lot about. But I learned as I went along. I learned how to file liens. I learned how to collect our money. I learned that, especially in the small to mid-sized family-owned business in the construction industry, having someone that knows the legal side of things is hugely important to the success of your company. And having someone that is only a phone call away, that will return your phone call, that will answer your questions in a timely manner, because you are running a business. You need to know if you can sign that lien waiver so you can get that check so you can make payroll on Friday. I know what that feels like. I know that pressure. I know and I understand how essential it is to have someone to turn to when you have legal questions in the construction industry, whether that's been on the commercial side, on the residential side, as a material supplier, all of it. So in my 20 years of practice, I came at it knowing a little about the construction industry. I learned a lot being in the construction side of it, owning our business and the clients that I represented by doing that, right? My firm started out, I was just representing us, filing liens and things like that. And it showed slowly that the people I would sue to collect our money would then want me to do the same thing for them. So it kind of spiraled into, helping other people in the industry that needed those things. And really, and honestly, when you learn or have to figure things out from a place of necessity, like it's your money on the line, I think it gives you a different understanding than somebody that's just coming in and learning it and representing clients, right? You understand the pain, you feel the stress, you know how important this is because it's your livelihood. There are you put your whole heart, life, and soul into your business when you start it from the ground up. It is your work of art. It is you, right? It is an extension of you. And it's very important to help protect that. And so as I've grown through the years, I've really designed my firm from the perspective of what we as a small to mid-sized company in the construction industry needed, right? We need somebody that would answer the phone. We need somebody that could tell us what to do, how to collect our money, right? And that would respond and be honest about the situation, right? Just tell it as it really is. And does it make sense to spend money on this or not, right? And so I've built my firm based on that. So we have a lot of things as much as possible on a flat fee. So the Cromeens Law Firm was started in 2006 and has evolved over the years, right? My goal is to take the firm nationwide, have an office in all 50 states. I'm working on it. We have offices in Texas, California, and Louisiana. We will keep spreading beyond that. So we help everybody. So right now we do contracts and collections in all 50 states. And all of that is done on a flat fee with a promised date of turnaround. So we have a contract. We have a contract department that's run by attorneys, and they do two things. They create contracts, mostly for residential contractors, from the guys that go out and do some repair work and are finished in a day. We do terms and conditions. From our repair remodel contracts that are, guys that are doing kitchen remodels, bath remodels, house remodels that take projects over time. And we also have a new build contract. Now, all of those things are done on a flat fee. Our terms and conditions start at $1,725. The repair remodel contract is $2,020, and our new build contract is $3,200. And how that works is you'll sign up, you'll pay us. My contracts attorney will contact you, go over some general things that we include in our contracts, talk about any pain points you've experienced in the past, to make sure to write that in the contract. And then within 5 business days, you'll have a draft of the contract. And we usually go back and forth a couple times till it's where you like it. And then it's yours. And then we're there in the future to help you with if you need to add things, take things out, if there's questions. But the thing about our contracts is, as I said, flat fee price, 5 business day turnaround, but they're written in plain English. You can understand them. Your client can understand them, because the whole point of a contract, no matter where it's written, is to manage the expectations of the parties who are entering into a relationship together to have some end objection, to remodel a house, to build a building. And if you can't understand what the expectations are, it doesn't work very well, which is why commercial contracts don't do a very good job at telling you what to do, because nobody can read them and understand them. So that's the other side of my contract department, is we do contract reviews on a flat fee price with a 5 business day turnaround, right? If you send us your contract, we're going to go and flag the things that may be dangerous or risky. You're going to review them and decide which ones you want to try to negotiate. And we'll give you the language to negotiate, right? But at least you can understand the risk in the contract that you're signing, right? You're just not signing them and hoping for the best, right? You can actually understand the risk you're going to take and decide if you want to take it or if you want to negotiate, right? And so we're always on call to answer your questions like that, as much as possible. We also do liens and collections on a flat fee. So depend in all 50 states. And with, our contracts that we write for our residential contracts, it's very contractor specific for the scope of work you're doing, whether you're a landscaper, a pool guy, a remodel contract, whatever, it's specific to you and the work that you do. It's also state specific, because for residential contracts, every state has a little something different that's required on top of licensing requirements. There are requirements of things that have to be in your contract and things that can't be in your contract. And so we have a database of all of that, and we're aware of all that. So we work in all 50 states. We also do liens and collections in all 50 states on a flat fee. And I say liens and collections because our end goal is not just file a lien. Our end goal is to get you paid the money that you're owed, right? And so sometimes that's sending the required letters that's required. The rules for filing liens in all 50 states is different. So give us a call if you want to know more specifically about your state. But it also includes collection phone calls to who hired you, the general contractor, the owner, to find out, where the money is, what the possibility of getting paid, what it looks like. So we're not just filing liens, because our end goal is not to file a lien, although we're obviously qualified to do that and do that all the time. Our end goal is to get you paid, right? Because that's why we start this whole process. And the thing I can tell you on that is the sooner payment's going to be an issue, let us know. And we can come up with a plan, send letters, make phone calls. The sooner you jump on the issue, the better off you'll be. All states have timelines and deadlines. None of the states have penalties for doing anything early. So you can always do it early. And the earlier you do it, the more likely you are to get paid. So we do all of that on a flat fee. We also do litigation, right? Nobody wants to be in litigation, but sometimes it's necessary to collect the money that you're owed, to defend a defect claim, all of that stuff that we do. We also do, if you're getting sued for a workers' comp audit, we represent you on that. If you're, being investigated by the Department of Labor, we can help you with that for not paying overtime. We're being sued in federal court for, failing to have good time records. We do all of that, but we come at it from a perspective of, like I'm saying, from being a small business owner and helping you protect what you've built, right? Because yes, I'm a lawyer, I'm a construction lawyer, but I've also run my own business since 2006, and been through the ups and downs in that. And some parts of business are all the same. And that's kind of why I started this podcast too. It was to help mid to small size construction businesses in the construction industry, whether you're just getting started or been in it for a while, some insights on how to run a better business from the business side of things. Some of it's based on books that I've read, some of it's based on personal experience, things that I've learned the hard way, as far as team members, employees, running a team, running systems and processes, and growing as a business owner, and the things you need to know to grow a business. So that's what this whole podcast is about. The podcast started after I wrote the book, Quit Getting Screwed, right? And Quit Getting Screwed is a book all about the bullshit in commercial subcontracts, because there's a lot of bullshit in there. And the bullshit in there has become a default, like the pay when paid clause, because over the course of the years, subcontractors have just signed these things without negotiating them. So now all of this crappy one-sided language has become the norm. And that book was written to try to push back and give you the tools to push back and to make you realize the things that are in these commercial subcontracts, so you don't just sign them. So you realize the risk that you're taking, the things that can go wrong, right? And don't be wrong, I'm kind of jaded because I only see the bad construction projects, right? I don't, I might drive by a good one, but I'm not personally involved in it. I'm involved in the ones that go wrong with the contractor, or when the contractor gets terminated, or when the contractor's not paid. So I'm involved at that level. I'm sure there's plenty of projects that go off without a hitch, but I've seen what can happen when they don't. And that's why Quit Getting Screwed was all about how to protect yourself and understand what's in those contracts, right? I'm also right now working on my third book, which is Trust Your Gut, which is all about the things that should be in your residential contract, right? So legally speaking, residential contracts and commercial contracts are different, because as a residential contractor, you get to write the contract. You get to call the terms, whatever you want in there, what's important to you, from, I want to be able to add extra time if you take too long to make selections, right? You don't have that kind of option in the commercial world. But so my next book is called Trust Your Gut. It will be all about what, as a commercial contract, I've learned through experience should be included in your contract to protect you, right? And I know same thing on this end is you want to go out there and you want to get to work and do a good job, but a contract that protects you and manages expectations on the residential side, I promise you, is very important. It makes you look professional. It lays out the biggest breakdown in residential construction is lack of communication or managing expectations, right? And so if we can do a good job of that in the contract and go through it with the client and understand them, we are so much less likely to get into a situation where you have to hire a lawyer, or you get sued, or you haven't gotten paid, or all of those things that can happen when a homeowner doesn't understand the process or have realistic expectations based on how the industry really works. So if you want to know more, I'm on LinkedIn under Karalynn Cromeens, the Cromeens Law Firm, on Facebook and Instagram. Also, the CromeensLawFirm.com has all of our information about our flat fee pricing. Our phone number is 713-715-7334. You get a free 30-minute consultation, where I can, if you have an issue you want to talk about, we can talk about possible resolutions. There's no charge for it. And it might even end up me telling you, hey, you don't need to hire us right now. Try this. And if that doesn't work, we can have another discussion. So, because my true goal is to help you run a better business, right? If you're in the construction industry long enough, you will need an attorney. And it's just the nature of the beast. And we're here to help you. My whole thing is really from a point to help you guys run better businesses and show you things from a legal perspective, and know that you're not alone out there, that we're here to help. So like I said, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, or I can help with any situations. Reach out to my office. You can get on my calendar. I have a Calendly link. I look forward to talking to you. Thank you, guys.